have the Team of the Year women surpassed the men. In FC 24. Beautiful people, what's happening? I'm talking about you. If you have not subscribed, high key appreciated. Let's get into a compare and contrast. This has to be one of the better rollouts we've seen amongst this time period. That Holland announcement, probably the best piece of creative content we've ever seen. Cinematic and almost as if there was a lore somehow to FC 24. Women's Team of the Year for the first time. Men's Team of the Year as expected. There's been a lot happening in a 1 to 2 week period. Let's begin with the goalkeepers. I'm not gonna hold you. There's not a lot of discussion. Allison versus Earps. One player has a track record and a proof of concept. The other was not being used before Team of the Year whatsoever. This won't be a deep dive into stats, but 6'4", Brazilian, all the links. Please don't pay a hefty price tag for your goalkeeper. This should be one of your last expenses. And they aren't gonna be miracle workers. If your defense is bad, your defense is bad. Miss Earps has an incredible highlight tape. One of the best goalkeepers in the world in the women's game, but you cannot change that she's 5'8" and we're playing FC 24. And she's a goalkeeper. Moving into the defense, Hernandez versus Karkawi. Two options. I'm a big fan. When I look at these two items, if anything, it's defense versus offense in terms of the choice. Teo Hernandez, 6 feet tall, high work rates, 4-star skills, 4-star weak foot. Easily could play him as a center back, probably even a holding midfielder. You have greens in every which way. And if anything between the two items, I would lean on Hernandez as a better defender, more physical. And then if you wanted someone on the wings, a better provider, Karkawi will give you that. Playstyle wise, Jockey on a playstyle plus. I personally love this playstyle. Quick step. It's nice for a little boost. All of these players for Team of the Year with the double dip of the playstyle plus action, an additional boost without a doubt. Karkawi has been one of my favorite new items in FC 24. 5'3", high, 4-star skills, 4-star weak foot, and she's got some electricity. We do have a lot of competition in this position. It should be mentioned. You can fulfill a left back role without buying either of these individuals, but they will stand out. The major difference outside of size is going to be the natural dribbling in the side to side. That level of responsiveness, Karkawi will have an advantage, undoubtedly. She also includes a playstyle plus in whipped pass and a playstyle plus in block, and has more defensive playstyles. With all that being said, you have to lean towards Teo Hernandez. However, Karkawi would potentially take a slot or a position if she was up against a different defender on the men's side. I don't know if that's a spoiler. Virgil van Dijk versus Renard. Can't really do a deep dive with Renard. Doesn't really matter in this type of competitive field. You have the best defender in the game if we're talking about his regular gold, then his inform, and now with the Team of the Year. This man looks like he came out of 300 and he won the battle. It's not a lot to detail when we're talking Virgil. I do not want to discredit Wendy. She could be someone that goes under the radar from the women's Team of the Year. High work rates, 6'2", so you have no liability in terms of size. Skills and weak foot, which is rare for center backs. Pace on paper, you love to see it. Even the dribbling. And for a player that has solid size, getting brawly with it, we're not mad about that. I'm a huge fan of Jockey in all capacities. Anticipate for a playstyle plus, highly overpowered. And then Ariel, she won't lose anything in a dispute or a confrontation. As I'm recording this video, I can't find a Virgil van Dijk on the market. It's not even about a stat room stuffing or reading these off. They're not newspaper numbers. Everything is authentic, and he's gonna go above and beyond this. But I just can't imagine defeating this type of monster or final boss that now has 93 sprint speed. He's enormous. He's powerful. I don't know why he's smiling in the Team of the Year. Good luck. Jockey, playstyle plus for block, playstyle plus for anticipate, and bruiser. To go with Ariel for physical, forget about it. He will be the best center back for the remainder of the year. I don't care what kind of upgrades EA comes with. If that wasn't clear, I'm choosing Virgil van Dijk. Ruben Diaz versus Bright. If anything, I just don't think Bright is competitive. Not for a Team of the Year player, and definitely not going up against this Ruben Diaz, who's stone cold like Steve Austin. Throwing back the classic years, boy, was there some good times. And I can't imagine Ruben Diaz chugging a beer, but I would pay to watch it. This feels like the first upgrade for Ruben Diaz that's actually going to take him to that next level. I've always been on the fence, even with previous iterations and previous years. His side to side could potentially use a little bit of work, but the sprint speed, the defending, the physical, and what's most important here is 5 defending play styles, which should uplift everything from block, intercept, anticipate, slide tackle, and bruiser. How can he not be phenomenal? Millie Bright, 5'10", reoccurring theme of problems with undersized center backs, not only this year, but even last year as well. I think of Cannavaro. We never see him. Cordoba. Don't see him. Even Koundé, kind of out of favor this year. There's nothing wrong with the stat lines, but she would need something so elite in terms of the turning or the quickness or the dribbling factor to kind of give her that extra bonus for more players to bring her into action. Could be a value opportunity. She does have 4 play styles within defending, which I always find to be important. And then with physical, having aerial should allow her to still win matchups where you're undersized in some of those 50-50s. We're going with Ruben Diaz. Last of the defensive duties, Frimpong versus Ona Baldia. I'm teasing that on the pronunciation. Doing my best. Instead of the individual takeaways, these two are nearly the same player, and you can pay half the price tag, at least currently, if you go with the Barcelona selection. There might be some preference. I quite like that you can play Ona as both a right back and a left back authentically. That's good additional versatility. I've used Frimpong a lot more because his previous items were more overpowered. He already had upgrades. But I think I'm going to lean to go for the cheaper option, getting a better value selection that, again, on paper at least, almost identical. Pick your poison. Even height-wise, I think it's 5'5" versus 5'7". They do have different play styles, which does matter. Frimpong with the burner will be authentic in all ways. But I'm going to mix it up, change the pace, and I do like getting a little bit of a discount. So we've got Ona. I'm not mad if you go the other direction. Maybe I'm letting the price come into this equation a little bit, and we're stirring the pot. Into the midfield. And so it begins. We have the likes of Kevin De Bruyne and Pateas. I don't know if it's that close. Could be a turn of the tide. KDB receives the upgrades that were needed, that were necessary, but he's still lacking some elitism and a couple key attributes or characteristics. Competitive foresight. 5'11", high medium work rates, 4-star skills, 5-star weak foot. The questions come into play when you're talking about his pace. Does he have enough of it? Are there going to be dribbling play styles in order to help him with some of the turning? I see the 92 dribbling. I will guarantee you KDB won't feel as if that's something that's part of his storytelling or narrative. It is what it is. His body type and the lack of play styles impact the dribbling, and defensively he will be qualified, but he might not be as standoutish, and you almost have to play him as a holding midfielder depending who else you have in your box to box. Finesse shot for a play style plus, we're not mad at that. Has everything you could ask for in terms of passing, but you see what I'm talking about. Nothing in defense, nothing in ball control. And as it stands, you're paying a hefty tax for KDB due to the Premier League and Manchester City. Perhaps I shouldn't talk price point. Pateas is going to come in much more expensive, almost 2-to-1. Double 5-star, 5'8". Just phenomenal. She's been brilliant the entire way through. Now you've got someone that's quick. You've got the additional resourcefulness with the dribbling, the way that she attacks space, scores goals, facilitates, creativity, ingenuity. The main 4 offensive stat lines are all over a 90, and it's not even close. Finesse shot as well, has a collection in the passing, but it's the ball control. When you see technical, love that. Flair, yep. First touch on a play style plus to go with a 97 dribbling stat line that we know and can confirm is the real deal. Pateas, simply put, is the easy selection between these two. Jude Bellingham versus Bonmati. Woo! What a grouping. You can't go wrong with either on your squad. I want my stance on record. As for Jude Bellingham, and I think he's still growing, he's gonna be beyond 6'1". Does it get much better? And I'd like to mention we started a football storytelling channel, and the first video deals with Jude Bellingham and players that came before him. I will link that down below if you'd like to check it out. The channel name is Football Records, has a bit of a throwback vinyl vibe. This youngster is taking over football, and good luck in FC 24 breaking down Jude Bellingham in the midfield. You start to question, what can't he do? Scoring goals, tracking back, interceptions, facilitation, physicality. Though he does have 85 strength, it might be worth a shout to throw something on the physical numbers in terms of a chemistry style. Play style wise, technical as a play style plus is game shifting for these taller players. The way that Jude moves on the pitch, I've had the unfortunate scenario where I've already gone up against this Jude Bellingham on numerous occasions. It's not going well. That's a review. Bonmati, congrats on your achievements. You deserve all of them. And she is incredible with this upgrade. It's almost unfortunate that she's going up against Jude Bellingham. Her movement, especially with the dribbling, these little touches, just reminds me of the throwback days to playing pro clubs, and you would create these pros that were undersized, but the way that they ran and attacked space and had colorful hair and were unstoppable, just broken. She has that. Doesn't hurt having an additional 98 finishing, just in case you get yourself into a 1v1, and you will. I'm also a little undecided where I will get the most out of Bonmati. She could play as an attacking mid, a center mid, a holding mid. If you wanted to take her out wide, very possible. Maybe even a false 9, which would be suited well or fitting of the Spanish culture. Takes me back to the Spanish national team on the men's side, where you didn't even need a striker. Similar to Jude, playstyle plus in ball control, but she's even better with the dribbling. Reminds me of having that R1 dribbler similar to a Musiala. If anything, she's actually better at dribbling than Musiala, which is sort of a crazy statement considering how broken he is. Regardless of any other stat lines, you have to go with Jude Bellingham in this matchup. Just built for such longevity, but Bonmati is fantastic. You'll be screaming at your TV or monitor Vamos all day, every day. If she was up against a different player, we'd have a real case. Rodri, Oberdorf, not that competitive. Let's be transparent. Rodri simply outclasses. Let's examine. I have a feeling both Rodri and Oberdorf will be the deals or the opportunities in regards to picking up players, especially in your midfield, at a reasonable upcharge. 4-star skills, 4-star weak foot, 6'3", hands down the best holding midfielder in football, if you're talking to me or if I'm talking to you, and I suppose that's what's happening. Massive upgrades across the board. I'd still put a little bit of an asterisk or a disclaimer when it comes to the dribbling. That 90 might be a little misleading. All the upgrades and then 2 play style pluses with that sheer size. It's a force to be reckoned with. You might be surprised by Oberdorf, and it would not be a shocker if she dropped to a point of being under 500,000 coins for a 95 overall with multiple play styles and the skill moves and the weak foot. The only downside is that she's not going to score a bunch of goals for you, which is a liability. You have to discuss it. It's an elephant in the room, but I was pleasantly impressed by some of her previous iterations, which I did not expect. Defensively, intercept, anticipate, slide tackle, and bruiser. You can work with this. She's just going to be an authentic center defensive mid. And again, these could be both the pickups that allow you to get a better deal. Rodri doesn't have the same hype as some of the other midfielders, and Oberdorf, people are going to look at her stats and keep it moving between the dribbling and the passing and the lack of ability of being able to score, but you might be able to get yourself a real discount on Oberdorf for a 95 overall that does have key play styles and performs better than her stat lines from personal usage. I'm just saying. But Rodri. Let's talk about the attackers, and I hope that you have some big budgets. Mbappe versus Smith. At this point, Mbappe's basically the Messiah. He's FC royalty. We have never seen a better player, period. Even his 91, who I had the pleasure of packing, circle that first owner, recently, 32 games, all weekend league, 46 goals, 28 assists. You can't give me a 97. No one stands a chance. And I've gone up against that loan on numerous occasions. Just a straight turn and burn. 99's on deck. more play styles than before. Stats don't even matter. This guy is that guy. Trivela, quick step, forget about it. Now, I'd like to give a special feature. Sophia Smith, wow. 4-star skills, 5-star weak foot, 5'5", 90 physical, boys and girls. And if you put her up against the remaining members of the team of the year, we have some competition. Depending how price points fluctuate, the ups and the downs, if you care mainly about results, this could be your pickup. And she's more attainable. She's actually attainable. That's also got to be part of the reality. How many of us are actually going to be able to pack or purchase Team of the Year Mbappe? If anything, I would say Sophia Smith is the best Team of the Year player that is feasibly possible for you to grind, invest, maybe even pack. Look at the play styles. This is just silly. Technical, playstyle plus, flair, first touch, trickster, yes. Trivela, relentless, quick step, yes. That you want in your squad. Mbappe wins the matchup, but Sophia Smith, I'm trying to sprinkle out some goodness. That's your pickup. You will not regret it, I promise you. Cover star dispute, Haaland versus Kerr. What are the books saying? Books, not bookies. The upgrades are in. 6'5", 4-star skills, 5-star weak foot. He's just getting to a point where he's uncomfortable to deal with from a physicality and body type situation. I've gone up against this Haaland 4 or 5 times as I'm recording this video. It's not fun. People are just whipping the ball into him, aim in the vicinity, forget about it on crosses, knockdowns. He's just stronger than everyone. More physical, turn, burn. You don't even need the skills. Just push the ball forward. The man's been in the gym. Aerial as a playstyle plus, power shot as a playstyle plus, both significant changes comparatively to his original item that had acrobat. Sam Kerr, she will be a sleeper. If you're looking for value pickups, this could be a player that gets into that equation. She has the skills, the weak foot. Anytime that I've gone up against her, even her previous items, I think she gets busy. Sometimes the stats don't tell the full picture. A lot of 90s, a lot of incorporations, and has that cover star bonus. Power header might be a little bit of a waste, but we do like rapid as a play style plus, and she will finish every single opportunity. Let's call a spade a spade. Haaland is taking the cake, solidifying his position, but Sam Kerr should not be overlooked. Woo! Last but not least, Messi versus Hansen. This will have some debate, plenty of room for interpretation. You see Messi, you get excited. I understand the upgrades, but are we just talking about the gameplay? Are we just talking about FC 24? I think that we are. The 5-star skill moves on Messi is major. What an upgrade. Stamina, now an 88 overall. He'll give you a full 90, but he still has only 84 sprint speed. Circle that, highlight it. His passing, his dribbling, his movement, everything is elite. He's got almost a unique body type. It's built into the framework or the DNA of the game that Messi is going to look and feel like Messi. And then adding in a playstyle plus for technical, we're not mad about that. But the major upgrade outside of the stats getting pulled up is the 5-star skills. Hansen is a weekend league W. You want more wins and foot champs? Make the pickup. 5-star skills as well, 5'10", high medium work rate. Everything before this has been upper echelon. She's been special. Definitely broken, can do everything. You know what's happening, you're not stopping it. The misdirection, the explosiveness, the finishing, the footwork, deceptive, dangerous. Controllers are going out the window. Play styles, you got whipped pass, as if she needed that. Ball control, trickster, first touch, flair, technical, on a 97 dribbling baseline. And a Trivela for a play style plus. What else could you ask for? I don't know if this is controversial, but Hansen is clear in this comparison for yours truly if we're just talking about the results in FC 24. Not your personal favorite, not who's better in real life, not looking at achievements and accolades and none of that. Just in game, you want more results. Hansen should be on deck. Let me know. Have you made any of these pickups? What are your takeaways from some of the comparisons? Have you enjoyed having the second team of the year? I've got a lot of questions. I want to stir up some discussion. We can go back and forth. I appreciate you as always. And if you want the gameplay, the second channel with FC Playbook will give you not only the tutorials and tips, but some of the extra razzle and the dazzle. And I have a lot more content coming out ASAP.